Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your JIS news for Wednesday, November 12. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller has moved to clarify the National Housing Trust NHT's acquisition of 10 acres of land at Orange Grove in Trelawney. The property was occupied by the Outer Many Experience attraction and the parliamentary opposition had questioned whether the purchase was in line with the NHT's mandate. In response to those questions in Garden House Tuesday, Mrs. Simpson Miller explained that while the trust had bought the 10 acres of land, it did not buy the Outer Many business. She further explained that having invested in the land, the NHT board was now exploring the educational, cultural and tourism potential of the property.
I have instructed that they should explore ways of using the property for social and physical infrastructure, to enhance the quality of life, and for the enjoyment of NHT contributors, Jamaicans, and visitors.
In the interest of transparency, the Prime Minister also revealed that the Auditor General will be carrying out further investigations into the purchase of the Orange Grove property. In the meantime, Mrs. Simpson Miller, who has portfolio responsibility for the Housing Trust, said the investment in the property at Orange Grove would not affect the NHT's ability to provide housing for Jamaicans. She pointed out that this year the NHT is disbursing over $22.4 billion for construction and mortgages and is spending another $1.6 billion to support the financing of private housing developments.
As of March 31, 2010, the assets was $134.1 billion. At the end of September 2014, that asset was $214.4 billion. $183 billion of that is in mortgage to NHT contributors. This, Mr. Speaker, is NHT at work.
In related news, work to increase housing solutions in the country through the government's Urban Renewal program and the Infill Housing program is gathering momentum. Minister with responsibility for housing, Dr. Maurice Guy, says a technical assistance grant in support of the efforts has been conditionally approved by the Caribbean Development Bank. This, he says, will help to improve and generate low-income housing solutions and provide security of tenure.
Once funding is in place, the first phase of a technical agreement between the ministry and the CDB will be implemented at a cost of some $146,000 to be offset between the CDB and the government of Jamaica. Phase 1 will also see the engagement of a consultant to, among other things, undertake a feasibility study of urban and community renewal initiatives in downtown Kingston.
He says the ministry has already begun a land identification process in the Kingston Urban Centre area to further facilitate urban renewal plans. Dr. Guy was speaking recently at the handing over of a new building at the Portmore Community College. Meanwhile, the Housing Agency of Jamaica has stepped up measures to improve the service it provides. The agency has unveiled a new mission and vision as part of a wider initiative to improve customer service and output. Managing Director Carl Bennett says the company is creating a new corporate culture that's designed to reinvigorate staff to help achieve the mandate of being the premier provider of housing solutions.
And therefore we need to wrap our minds around what it is that we do, who are the people who we serve, and how best we can satisfy the needs of those customers.
Mr. Bennett was speaking recently at a special commemoration ceremony held at the agency's head offices on Caledonia Avenue. Jamaica's permanent representative to the United Nations has been appointed as chair of the UN Intergovernmental Negotiations on Security Council reform. Ambassador Courtney Ratch's appointment was announced on Monday by the president of the 69th session of the UN General Assembly. The Foreign Affairs Ministry says Ambassador Ratch's appointment will give greater prominence to Jamaica's role and contribution at the United Nations. Reform of the 15-member Security Council has been high on the agenda of the wider UN membership for over 20 years, and Jamaica has been actively engaged in those efforts. The reform agenda includes proposals to modify the size of the Security Council's permanent membership and address more widely the categories of membership, as well as the question of the veto power accorded to permanent members. The UN Security Council has only been reformed once since 1945, when it expanded the number of non-permanent members from 6 to 10. And finally, Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites has lauded the nation's teachers for their continued sterling contribution to the education system. He was speaking at the recent 2014 LASCA and Ministry of Education Teacher and Principal of the Year Award ceremony. Hampton High Principal Heather Dawn Murray and Marymount High teacher Anita Bailey walked away with the top prizes.
We meet to honor those teachers who have shown enthusiasm, discipline, and flexibility in the exercise of their craft.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thank you for watching.